Hey Nation, I'm Dustin Davis, and welcome to Chiefs Express Report. The Kansas City Chiefs face a defining moment in their season. Coming off the bye week, the organization finds itself at a crossroads. Healthier bodies returning to the roster, yet fundamental questions about depth and momentum remain unresolved. The front office's calculated restraint at the trade deadline raised eyebrows across the fanbase, leaving gaps that internal solutions must now fill as the playoff race intensifies. What happens next will reveal whether Kansas City's confidence in its championship infrastructure was justified or misplaced. The Chiefs believe they have the pieces to sustain another deep run, but belief alone won't decide the AFC West. Let's discover and analyze moves that Chiefs fans never even imagined. First of all, let me take a moment to ask for your help. If you enjoy our videos, give us a like. It's a great way to keep the content going. Thanks for the support. Pressure follows the Chiefs into their Week 11 road assignment, where the outcome could reshape the entire division landscape. After using their bye primarily for healing and adjustment, Kansas City now must prove the pause served its intended purpose, getting injured contributors ready for a second-half playoff push. Winning the AFC West for a 10th consecutive year remains the target, though the route to that milestone looks far from guaranteed. Kansas City leadership understands the challenge ahead requires both tactical discipline and intelligent personnel decisions to maintain championship-caliber performance. Freshness gives the Chiefs an edge coming off the break, but capitalizing on that advantage demands full contribution from every healthy player on the roster. Fortunately for Kansas City, several important pieces are expected to suit up after missing recent action. Fox Sports confirmed that left tackle Simmons has rejoined the team following a family matter that kept him away for multiple weeks, though his exact availability for game day remains undetermined. The first-round selection had claimed a starting role protecting Patrick Mahomes' blind side during training camp and exceeded nearly every expectation through the season's opening stretch before his sudden departure ahead of the Week 6 Detroit matchup. Kansas City coaching staff has deliberately avoided detailing the circumstances surrounding the 22-year-old's absence. Head coach Andy Reid also indicated that right tackle Jawaan Taylor, who exited the Buffalo loss 2 weeks earlier with an ankle problem, showed improvement even before the bye began. All signs point to Taylor being ready for Sunday's kickoff against Denver. Meanwhile, Brett Veach's deadline day decisions are drawing scrutiny, especially one deal that nearly happened at the final hour. The Chiefs made a forceful late attempt to acquire talent before the window closed, yet missing out on Boye Mafe may prove more painful than any deal they actually completed. Looking back with the clarity hindsight provides, every front office choice Brett Veach made at the 2025 trade deadline now faces heightened examination. The general manager opted against bringing in outside help, a stance immediately criticized as a squandered opportunity to patch specific weaknesses. Two near transactions became public knowledge after the deadline passed: a failed pursuit of running back Breece Hall and an 11th-hour aggressive attempt to land Seattle's edge defender Boye Mafe. Both scenarios reveal the type of calculated risk Kansas City weighed before ultimately deciding against pulling the trigger. Many observers believe Kansas City made a strategic error by declining to act at the 2025 NFL trade deadline. Veach absorbed substantial criticism for failing to add contributors on either side of the ball. One potential transaction did surface in reports. Kansas City apparently made a serious run at prying Hall away from the New York Jets. That negotiation collapsed, and it wasn't the only close call that ultimately left Veach empty-handed. ESPN's Adam Schefter reported Sunday morning that the Chiefs came extremely close to acquiring Seattle's defensive end and linebacker Boye Mafe, a near deal. At Tuesday's NFL deadline, the Chiefs made a late-throng push to acquire Seattle's linebacker Boye Mafe per sources, Schefter wrote. Some thought the deal would get done. One source even thought it was completed. But right before the deadline, Seattle opted to hold on to Mafe. Adding an edge presence like Mafe carries obvious appeal. The 2022 second-round selection has accumulated 19 sacks across 57 regular season appearances, including 34 starts. His strongest campaign came in 2023, when he posted career-best numbers in tackles, tackles for loss, quarterback hits, sacks, and passes defended. Mafe's production remained solid last year, though he appeared in 5 fewer games. His volume statistics naturally declined, and his overall performance didn't match the prior season standard. Seattle has yet to extend his contract, meaning any acquiring team would essentially be renting his services for the remainder of this year. The 26-year-old, turning 27 on November 30th, recorded his first sack of 2025 during Week 10's 44-22 victory over Arizona. He's generated 24 total pressures this season, ranking 38th among edge defenders at his position. His Pro Football Focus overall grade of 68.5 places him 45th among 110 edge players, while his 68.9 pass rush grade lands in the same territory. Evaluating this year's Chiefs defense requires careful consideration. Summer sports data shows Kansas City ranking 11th in EPA per play and 8th in EPA per pass allowed. Steve Spagnuolo's group also sits 6th in points surrendered per drive and 4th in overall scoring entering Week 11. Those numbers suggest excellent defensive performance, yet they don't capture the complete picture. Other measurements paint Kansas City in less flattering light. Run defense ranks as a genuine liability at 25th overall. Coverage in the middle of the field represents the unit's most glaring vulnerability. The pass rush presents a confusing contradiction that defies easy interpretation. Choose any metric for Kansas City's quarterback harassment capability, and you'll find conflicting evidence. Optimistic observers point to the team's 4th place ranking in non-blitz pressure rate and 8th place standing in overall pressure rate. More skeptical analysts highlight the 21st place finish in ESPN's pass rush win rate and the league's worst quarterback hurry rate of just 3.1%. All-Pro Chris Jones shares 2nd place on the team with a mere 2 sacks. Reality probably exists somewhere in between those extremes. Spagnuolo, whose defensive coordination borders on mad genius, deploys some of football's most creative and effective blitz schemes. This season has necessitated his heavier reliance on them. Jones, beyond showing questionable discipline, simply isn't producing at his previous elite level. Defensive end George Karlaftis statistically carries the pass rush. Neither Charles Omenihu, Mike Dana, or rookie Ashton Gillier have emerged as a difference maker. Mafe would have provided valuable help despite registering only 1 sack in 2025. In another development, a different potential addition slipped through Kansas City's fingers despite clear signals the player wanted out. Kansas City's choice to remain inactive at the trade deadline sparked immediate backlash from supporters who anticipated reinforcement, especially in the backfield. The front office's conservative approach has created lingering concerns about depth and staying power as the Chiefs enter the season's final stretch, and the lack of a mid-season addition feels conspicuously absent to numerous observers. Jerome Ford of the Cleveland Browns emerged as a realistic target, a veteran who seemed eager for relocation. His visible expressions of unhappiness and the ongoing trade speculation positioned him as one of the more intriguing potential acquisitions Kansas City might have pursued. Kansas City's failure to add a talent at the trade deadline frustrated many in the fanbase. The running back position represented an obvious vulnerability, with several capable ball carriers available on the market, options Brett Veach might have explored. Critics argue that a more aggressive stance would have been justified considering the physical toll of an NFL season and the narrow margins that define playoff contention. Ford stood out among the potential acquisitions, a player who clearly desired a change of scenery. Trade rumors consistently linked him to movement, yet the deadline expired with Ford still in Cleveland, a result that plainly disappointed him. Ford hasn't hidden his dissatisfaction with the current situation. The Browns' veteran running back reshared 2 TikTok videos expressing workplace frustration, which, at minimum, demonstrates how unhappy he is with the circumstances. Ford never publicly identified a preferred landing spot, but his behavior makes abundantly clear he would have welcomed a trade to a contending team. The Chiefs may not dominate the league as they did during the earliest Mahomes years, but joining Kansas City, a franchise still competing for championships, would beat staying with a Browns organization that appears directionless. Ford represented exactly the type of reinforcement this offense needed. His 2024 production hasn't matched the previous year when he rushed for 565 yards and 3 touchdowns. Yet his abilities still translate to reliable short yardage contributions and explosiveness on third down. With Isiah Pacheco unavailable due to injury and the current rotation producing inconsistent results, bringing in a player with Ford's attributes might have provided backfield stability. Veach's decision not to address the running back situation disappointed a portion of Kansas City's devoted fanbase, though the general manager apparently believes existing roster solutions are adequate. Whether that internal confidence proves accurate remains an open question. Ford is scheduled to become an unrestricted free agent following this season. Perhaps he ends up in Kansas City during next offseason's free agency period. Time will tell. Jerome Ford clearly wanted out of Cleveland, and the Chiefs needed backfield help. Was passing on him a huge mistake by Veach? Could Ford have been the stability Kansas City needs with Pacheco injured, or are you confident in their current running back room? Share your take in the comments. Give us a thumbs up and subscribe. Join the community for exclusive daily content. We're here to keep you updated with everything going on in Kansas City. See you next time.